Welcome back to another conversation with experts. I'm Terry Watkins, your host here at High Point Friends School, and we have the fabulous Nancy Ruffner with us today. For those of you that don't know Nancy, I'm going to share with you that she is a patient advocate, and we're here talking with her today about what does being a patient advocate entail. First of all, Nancy, thanks for being with us.
My pleasure.
Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about patient advocacy. What does that even mean?
Sure. Well, it's a new field. It's very young industry. Patient advocates serve as a sort of a shepherd or guidance for folks who are going through the healthcare system. The industry was only born in 2009, and since then we've brought it to certification. We're largely a bunch of nurses and social workers that are helping people go through healthcare system that's pretty complex and pretty scary.
So important, especially in today's world with all of the new technology and medicine out in there. It is really complex and complicated. Nancy, at what point in your life did you recognize that you loved working with people and their relationship with the healthcare system and their personal health?
It was early. I think I tested in elementary school for wanting to help people and for persuasion. And that combination has certainly come true, even since the fourth grade. I knew that I wanted to help people, that I related to people easily. And when it came time to go to college, I entered the School of Social Work because that's where I thought I could be most effective, to learn how to be in a system, but to affect change and work one-on-one with folks.
Wow. So that started really early for you. That's amazing. So what made you decide to be an independent patient advocate? If you went through the School of Social Work, seems like you could have kind of stayed along that track and still affected that change. So what made you decide to break out and be on your own?
It was a lot of life's lumps, shall we say. I exited my undergrad with the Bachelor of Science in Social Work, and I had my cape on, and I was going to help people. And I dove headfirst into it, and it wasn't but 3 years, and I burnt out. What I will tell you is Nancy was trying so hard that she was taking her work home in her head, and I was wanting change faster than it would come, and so it was very frustrating. I didn't learn the professional boundaries that I needed at first. And so throughout my career, I tried working for the state government. I tried working for private enterprise. I tried working for publicly traded with shareholder type companies. And initially, which was all good exposure, those work environments, those systems, the politics that come with them. But what seemed to be the fit for me was when I found a way to combine sales and social work in a business that was mine, where I could call the shots and affect the change quickly.
So if you're one of our middle school students who's watching this right now, and you know that your purpose here is to affect change, and you feel like somebody maybe has told you you're bossy, you might be a good leader, and it might be a good opportunity to tap into that a little bit more. Perhaps starting something on your own is the way to go. Thanks, Nancy. Something to keep in mind. So if you were to inspire a young person, say somebody who's in middle school, who's felt the calling to be helpful to people, who maybe has a unique ability to inspire change in others, what would you tell them they needed to do in order to tap into this patient advocacy world?
I would get as much exposure as I could into the healthcare system. In my case, understand how everything works, where the holes are, where the mistakes happen, and just get a good lay of the land. Most of us are nurses and social workers. Advanced degrees come with that. There's also a board certification exam if you want some to have that accreditation. But get out, learn, partner with, go work for, so that you can see, am I in line with this, or do I want to do something different?
Excellent. And I love that you tapped into a little bit of information about what kind of schooling is involved and education is involved in order to get the accreditations you need for your role. So you mentioned social workers, you mentioned bachelor's degree. Talk to us a little bit about how all of that plays together.
Well, in my case, undergrad social work. Then I went back to school. I know y'all don't think this is crazy, middle school, but I went back to school for my master's work 30 years later and pursued counselor education, the community track, the working among track. And that has been helpful for me. We've got people that are RNs or BSNs. We've got folks who also come from the legal field, paralegals. We've got pharmaceutical folks that join us. There can be a lot of different fields that can contribute. I will also say that almost all of us have had a family story. We've had a time where things didn't go right. Our story, a healthcare debacle, or our parents, and or somebody in our family, somebody that we love, and we saw that struggle, and we felt called to do something about it, that we could affect that change.
Oh, that's so good. So if you're listening to this, think about as you're going through life. This isn't something you need to meditate on right now. As you're going through life, pay close attention to the effects of things that happen to you in your life. What is happening around you? What is happening to the people around you? Are these things that you feel a calling towards that you can have a change in if you got yourself involved, if you got the right education to get involved? That's such a great tip to kind of stay focused in the things that you notice and recognize. And we've talked a little bit about this with some of our other professionals. They all say it's about life's journey. Our journey takes us to a variety of different places. It's the culmination of those places that open up the doors and the opportunities for us to tap into new ideas or adventures. That was the one thing. The other thing that we've heard repeatedly from our professionals is it is a experience, and the different experiences that you have leads you to connect back to the things that matter most to you. So stay in touch with those things that matter most to you as you continue to walk down the path of your life. Awesome. So what's been your favorite thing so far, Nancy, about this chosen career path?
That it marries up two things that I was really good at. And it took me a long time to find my beam, sales and social work. I am really good with people. I'm very good at communicating, and I'm good at tender conversations. I can address a big audience, or I can sit at the kitchen table and we'll have conversations about what this looks like and how it's going to impact you. The empathy, the ability to move people along a journey and help them understand it when they're don't understand, and how to diffuse situations. That marriage of those two skills has made all the difference to me, because I feel when a good day's work has been done, that I help somebody. I see relief on people's faces. I hear it in their voice. And you know that you're making a positive impact on somebody's life at a time when they really need it.
It's so juicy, especially if you're somebody who does have this desire to help people. So if you really want to feel like you've made a difference in somebody's life, this might be a career opportunity for you, for sure. Nancy, if you could give yourself your younger self, one piece of advice that would have made your journey to where you are today a little bit easier, what might that be and why?
Well, I think you've touched on a large part of it already, is keeping your eyes open as you move through life. What's going on with you? What are you drawn toward? Or what do you shy away from? Be mindful of that. I was led by the crowd. We'll go to college and we'll study this, and then we'll go do that. And I climbed the corporate ladder for many years, not really listening to me, but trying to figure out where I fit in instead of figuring out what are my strengths and how can I use them. I was following, and I finally figured out that I need to sing my own song.
That's such a good reminder for all of our listeners, adults and students alike. Don't feel like you have to be on this conveyor belt of what is normal. There really isn't a such thing as normal in today's world. And you are totally normal to decide, maybe I don't want what everybody else wants and I want something different. That is totally awesome. March to the beat of your own drum. Such a great tip. Nancy, some of our other professionals have provided contact information for our students to reach out directly if they have additional questions that I haven't asked you today that they might want to know. Is there a way for them to get in touch with you to do that?
Sure. They can email me through my agency's email. My agency, by the way, is Navigate NC. And you can find us at www.navigatenc.com and on Facebook, Navigate NC. You'll see a lot of information about the industry there and the kinds of things that we deal with and care about. But they're welcome to email me at Nancy@Navigate NC.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for your wisdom and enlightenment about the patient advocacy field. This is a really new field, so there's a lot of career upward growth and trajectory in this arena. And it's just going to continue to get more and more critical as our society grows and ages, and there's new medical things that are coming out all the time. So thank you for the work that you do and for instilling hope and inspiration into our middle school students with us today.
Happy to.
Yes. For those of you who are watching, this is Terry Watkins with High Point Friends School. We are a private school, private institution based in the heart of High Point, North Carolina, focused in the Quaker tradition. So if you have a student who you think maybe could use smaller class sizes, or they're really interested in sports at an early age, this might be the school for you. We really focus on nurturing the whole student, and we would love to have an opportunity to speak with you and show you our amazing campus and talk to you about what your student might need in order to tap into their best self and their greatest potential. Just get in touch with Pam Horn. Her contact information is in the description below. And until next time, thanks so much for watching.